We have our first semifinal, ladies and gentlemen. This is 1-0 versus Sorg, best of 3. Undead versus Human. Will 1-0 again play no shenanigan, DK, Tet Fiend strat? Or is the Necromancer a little in joyful mood and playing around with stuff? No, he isn't. It's a DK. We go right in. China versus Korea for the grand final of the Huya Super League 2.
Especially against Human lately, 1-0 has been playing quite a bit of Lich first. Also Dreadlord first, but those games seemed more clowny, whereas the Lich first really seemed straight up pretty damn good. But here it is, as you said, this straight up normal Tet Fiend build. Concealed Hill classic, DK starting off with the Ogre camp first, and then Skeleton and Ghouls go over towards the green, take out the one turtle. That's level 2 for the DK. This makes this map really good early game for Undead. Also, to make matters worse for Human, the expansion is really tough to creep, very dangerous. DK can find lots of steals, you can be stuck on level 2, and there can be lots of poison on your peasants, lots of losses that way. We have the tech coming in by 1-0 quickly, and here we go. Sok is going for the fast expansion. Arcane in the main to be safe. So, how many peasants is he going to lose at the expansion? How many last hits can 1-0 steal?
Okay, here's the Raz. Could be quite a big one. 1-0 so far this tournament, looking really strong with the coils. Barely misses anyone. There we go. 1 shot, 1 kill. But he's taking a lot of hits here. 2 footmen on the DK. Archmage firing at will as well. And yeah, this is 1 creep gone, but the DK is also so hurt. Last hit goes to WFZ. If he gets, 1 more peasant kill. And the claws of attack. Damage is really good. Of course, with the fountain, this is easy healing. But it does take time, and that's time for Sorg to wreck this expansion.
As you can see, the AM is almost level 3, but not quite there because some last hits were stolen. If you lose the big boy, the level 5 creep, and another one from this expansion camp, it's so hard to get to level 3. But the big creep was secured for Sok. Kind of the classic anti-DK play. 2 footies on the DK at all times, and the AM standing between Death Knight and creeps. And once the DK gets into range, the AM fires at him. So that's kind of how you're supposed to do it as Human. So good job by Sok. Can be a little bit dangerous with hard creep camps that have a lot of health, like this one. But the DK was so low that he couldn't go for the Overseer. So far, so good for both, I would say. But Sok definitely needs his level 3. He's very close. Skeletons now might be enough to get him this level up.
There's still plenty of coils, but nothing really hurt for Sok. Not for WFC, obviously. So he needs the skeletons. There is 1 more rod of necromancy, I think. Maybe 2. My stream crashed. Reloading. There we go again.
Yeah, he went for the telestaff at the shop. Telestaff back to the main. Buy the rod of necromancy and then run south again. Didn't save the telestaff. He sold it. Could be a consideration also to save that one, especially against the run-by style, tank, footies in the back, that kind of deal. Telestaff is really good, but it's also about resources, of course, not about timing. And 1-0 want to get to tier 3 as quickly as he can. So expansion is now finally up. No Arcane Tower yet. What we see from Happy, especially being prioritized heavily always, is canceling the Arcane Tower, which makes life for the Human quite difficult. 1-0 is making great use of this fountain here, which is another factor that doesn't make this an easy expansion map for Human.
Yeah, this staff selling is kind of reminiscent to how he plays Dreadlord, like unsummoning the altar for fast attack. Oh, no! If this would be Chimiko, that's an easy kill, but he wiggles through again! 2 surround attempts, was almost close, but the Fiend survives somehow. That would have been a big kill. Tier 2 for 1-0, no tier 3 tech yet as he prioritized the Lich and the statues. But yeah, I would say the staff sell is a pretty typical 1-0 play.
Yeah, see this also from other undeads sometimes. MD5Y, thank you for the gifted sub, and SU, thank you for the sub as well. This was a really cool anti-surround by that Fiend earlier, and that saved 1-0. One of those. Still lots of footies here on the field looking for more and more surrounds. But the thing is, if you just aim for the surrounds but don't get them, you just basically take a lot of damage for free. Instead, Sok could just be choosing to attack the Fiends with defend and kind of push them away. But he aimed for the surrounds. He failed all attempts. And that is a little bit of a problem.
Oh man, that's quite some kills for 120. Yeah, he's not losing anything thanks to great micro on these Fiends. And then it's Nova. Oh, he's forgot the statue for a little. With great micro and coil, and Nova saves the Fiend again and diminishes the number of footmen. It's going to be super hard for Sock to go for any kind of dive or base harass because there's only 3 footmen left.
The statue control and kiting by 120 here is just outstanding. Second to none. And now it's 5 Fiends plus a statue. Throw in 1 more statue, and this army is already scary. Plus tier 3 is coming in. Throw an orb into the mix. This is the scary part of Undead. And now you have to hold on against these numbers just with footies. And soon, an MK. The pressure is mounting on Sock.
Second to none. I think Happy would like to have a word with you, my man. But
it was basically perfect. It was basically perfect. Just like Happy, you know, that they're sharing the #1 spot here.
So, put on a little bit of music so the stream isn't that empty. Blacksmith about to be up. 6 footmen still in. Lich has more Nova. Problem is no level 3 DK, but he's very close. Castle tech right away and defend. This makes everything a lot more easy for Sock. And the Mountain King is coming very soon.
Aiming for the statue here is a big deal. That is the regen, that is the sustain for the Undead. Lots of footies as well. We once again saw 6 right there after already some had fallen earlier. So the footies are supposed to buy the time for the tier 3. Here comes the MK now. But tier 3 isn't ready yet. And once 120 can make use of Destroyers, Triple Hero, Orb, it's going to be tough to hold, probably.
True. Level 2 for the Lich, and that is more and more and more Nova. Fiends are... Oh, here's the Stormbolt. Fiends are already quite hurt. 2 of them at least. So it's a trade for now. Oh, no way! I thought for a second the Burrow would save him, but just a tiny split second too late. As my feed is reloading again. There we go.
That's only 1 Arcane, 1 Guard Tower at the Expo. That's a really easy bust with Destroyers. Oh, nice farm. Very smart farm to limit the entrance space.
I haven't heard that in a while. Oh, what a nice farm.
Yeah, man. I think build placement has a lot of potential for Human in this matchup.
Yeah. We discussed this with Todd, I think on a town hall or on a cast. I'm not sure when it was. Set you safe. Now he's moving in Arcane Tower range. Archmage a little bit exposed. Let's go for the town portal because there was Coil Nova in a second.
Tier 3 is almost done. Then we have Knights coming. Then we have Pally coming. When those are out, along with Militia, perhaps Sock can push back this Undead force. But also 120 is getting stronger. He's going to have a 3rd hero soon, most likely. If he follows Happy's path, it's going to be a Pit Lord. Also, Dark Ranger is an option.
Yeah, if you guys have a better stream, feel free to post it somewhere. Then we can switch in after game 2. But yeah,
Backpack was researched earlier.
Man, this looks like a scary push. The Breakers, they are falling last shot of the Fiend. That was very Happy-esque.
So the Pally is almost out. But here is the big Undead army, big Undead force. Without a 3rd hero, this is how Happy won WGL, playing dual hero only, barely any Destroyers, mostly Fiends, no A-bombs, and upgrades. I wonder if there's upgrades on these Fiends as well. And this is so much focus fire, as you can see. And the Fiends, in these high numbers, don't have the hardest time ever taking out towers. Alright, finally, Sock is coming in. He's forced to defend, but his army is like just a little ragtag group right now. 2 Breakers, 2 Gyros, 1 Knight, 3 heroes on low levels. Not the scariest human force just yet.
Alright. But the Gyros are coming. Ground army is getting better and better as well. Sock just stalling time for 57 supply. Mana for the Lich is super low. Not much to do for him here anymore. And the Expo, like, he barely touches the economy. Yes, of course, a couple of peasants are falling. Oh, damn it.
Sock is bringing in the militia. This is the big push here to get him out of this chokehold. Oh, and he even finds a Stormbolt surround on the Lich. That forces the TP away. Gets a Fiend kill as well. Really strong hold by Sock. Man, he was under so much pressure this game. Must have been really stressful for him so far. But excellent defense by him up to this point.
I agree. Didn't look too great in the early after the Fiend surround missed a little. But now getting stronger and stronger by the minute with the strong human upgrades, with the strong human army. 1-0, feeling forced to bring the ghouls in against the breakers, of course. An excellent choice, but the question is how long will it survive? Archmage a little far forward. Dark Ranger now for the silence. Absolutely needed against Paladin and MK. 2 gyros for free.
And these gyro losses matter. It's very much about critical mass with the gyros. If you fly in trying to counter the destroyers with only 3 to 4, that doesn't work. But once you get up to like 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that, then it can be really good, depending, of course, on how the undead kites and micros. Both now in upkeep at around 60 supply. Hero level still looking a little bit better for 1-2-0 here. And again, a little bit more turtling, mass repair. Sock trying to buy more time.
Is your stream not crashing?
I have some spikes and stops here and there, yeah.
Okay. So hopefully... Oh, Stormbolt surround. Fiend counter surround again. But man, this DK is tanking a lot of damage. But again, unit safe. DK a little far forward. Has to be super careful of Stormbolt and surrounds with all the militia in. And Sock is starting to fight kills.
Yeah, got one Fiend
Boom.
there. Nice Wand of Illusion. Also
Paladin
surrounds
down.
the Dark Ranger. Can he fight out? Yes. But that was the last or the second last coil.
Illusions on the
Duration.
Knights. I really like that. So focus fire on the Mountain King now. Is that the right choice? He's kind of tanky, but he's also stuck. He can't retreat that easy. More shots. We have Searing... Blade, not Searing Arrow. Sundering Blades on the Knight as well. Water Elemental, constant pressure on the skeletons. Stormbolt on the Lich, dropping fairly low. 50% is... Okay, plenty of coils. That should be doable. But what's with Sock's army? Once the Paladin got wrecked, there was no Holy Light anymore. And there was a lot of kills. He's back now.
Yeah, Sock's also been heavily relying on militia usage to hold here. As long as they're active, there's a lot of damage coming in. But once the duration is over, if only they had 5 more seconds, then it becomes dangerous.
But again, this 2-base, 1-base play, every push that doesn't break Sock is good for the human. He's getting so much stronger by, not even the minute, but by the second. Another Fiend dead. Paladin silenced Invo Potion to save him. Holy Light on the Mountain King, so he's back to full health as well. Call was nice. Stormbolt immediately after. Sock with very few hero focus. Or very little hero focus, even though the DK is exposed, and it feels like 1-0 is using the DK as a bait, but it's not really working.
Staffs now starting to come into play as well. We saw that before. Pally still has to be very careful. 1-0 has a coil Nova already. He holds on to the mana. Used the coil here, level 4 for the DK. That level 2 aura always helps. If he wants to play it super safe, he could also go for Death Pack, but I think aura is such a great benefit.
Yeah.
You want to go for that. And then be careful with the DK's movement, positioning. Oh, AM.
No TP, no invul. I don't think there's... Is there Nova? I'm not too sure. Oh, surrounding the DK. Now he's taking that bait. Boom! Immediately goes for the Paladin again. And he just explodes. Coil Nova, pretty good combo. And again, the healer benched. And it's so important since there's no experience on this Paladin. No chance.
Oh, and now the Lich very far forward. Could have been threatened with a Stormbolt there, but was not. Bolt is set on the Fiend. And that one is almost taken out. And now so close to the human main. This is where Militia once again can be a big help.
Yeah, Sock calls it immediately. Another Fiend dies in the north to the magic, to the heavy normal damage of Knights and Breakers. Soon 1-0 will be down to only the heroes. Even the statues fall. 2 Fiends kind of misrallied, not participating in this fight. Oh, Lich in trouble. No coil anymore.
Oh, dude, so many bashes. They found him at least 2 Fiend kills so far. Another Stormbolt. That's another kill. Wow. Sock is starting to take control of this game.
That's exactly what 120 feels as well, and he taps out. GG. 1-0 for Sock. Very convincing hold right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with how he played that. It's so easy in so many positions to like lose one knight too many, to not pay attention to the MK, to lose the AM, Coil Nova out of nowhere. You don't have the proper amount of invuls or TPs or staffs or anything. You have to really tread so lightly. It's like a what's that called? Tight rope walk, where you have to do exactly the right decisions and make sure that you're safe against all options and just barely hold on. But once the expo is running for long enough, and once you get these high knight numbers and you drain the undead of his mana, you can win, as we saw here. Matchup not quite unwinnable.
Tiny little jab to a certain someone, or?
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you, Groovy, for the 4-month resub. Thank you guys for making home office actually awesome. That is wonderful, man. Thank you. And we're waiting for map number 2. I saw a lot of guys saying that Yumiko's quality is better. That is true, but Yumiko's observing is... like, if you want me to be sent to the hospital, then we can observe Yumiko, but WFZ is definitely better. Sent you a PM with the Korean observers. Why are there Korean observers?
One option that WFZ could have had was, upon seeing the number of towers at the expo, just morph all statues. Morph double statue into triple destroyer. Normally, I'm not the biggest fan of that, as you have no sustain left on the ground. But if you can crack a base with that, that could have perhaps been a play, but it's also dangerous. Sok was always hanging around the corner. If you commit in deep to kill all these towers, a flank with militia can be a nail in the coffin as well. And that was, I think, what's got Sok the victory here. Really good usage of militia over and over. Really good lumber managing as well. If you call these militia over and over, it's really easy to just completely run out of lumber and being unable to produce knights and gyros anymore. But Sok is so good at this 2 base and then knight gyro hold. A lot of humans, if not most humans nowadays, will try to make use of tanks, but Sok still does it with the knights and gyros.
All right. Looks like we got a Korean stream that is pretty flawless. Thanks, Shikimoto-san. I hope this works better. At the moment, there's no movement on the screen, so you can't really see how stable it is, but we'll check it out as we're waiting for game number 2. Sockman, not even using tanks against undead, still winning. Quite surprised. I'm not really surprised, but yesterday he played tanks against Night Elf, so I thought, okay, if he plays tanks against Night Elf, then he's definitely playing tanks against undead as well. But that was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, still looking strong in this matchup with this style. Remember, he was the one at the last WGL to defeat Happy as the only one in the group stage with his Knights Gyros play.
Yeah, he's making a lot of right decisions in this, that's for sure.
Second map will be Last Refuge.
By the way, there's a lot of money on the line and it's pretty top heavy. 4,000 out of the $7,700 go to the winner, 2,000 for the runner-up. So making the finals is really important, but also the game for third has some meaning as the 4th place goes home empty-handed. Prize money only for the top 3. And you guys keep on blessing us with your subs. ZB4Light for the 19-month resub. More Warcraft, back to Warcraft hype. And The Other Dentist, 6-month, 4:30 a.m. US Central Time. You madman! Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. All right, so yeah. Oh, this stream is looking good.
Yeah. Quality is still not the best for me, but at least they have a score. And if Chupanda and Frenzy do the observing, then we know it's good. So, oh, there's also these. How do I block things here on Africa?
You mean the bullet things?
Yep.
Yeah, good question. Where is the button?
I don't know. People, do you know? Let me know. How do we block? Oh, wait. Actually, on stream? Oh, wait. It's just frozen again. Oh, it's so stressful. Okay. If you guys know how to block these things, then let us know. So, we have Sock on Last Refuge. Are you gone now? No, you're still there. In the bottom left with an Archmage. And I wonder, is it time for the Dreadlord now?
This has also been a Lich map in the past. That would be something that, you know, Sok has been playing against this Tej Fiend style with his fast Expo Knight's Gyro style for a long time. Maybe it would be a smart idea to mix it up here from 1-0.
Dude, these add-ons. Like, what the fuck? There must be a way to block them. And now it's frozen. God damn it, I hate restreaming! Okay.
Resumed working for you as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's DK Tej Fiend standard by 1-0 once again.
Yeah, what causes this? Like, in pretty much every other tournament, he's not playing like this. Sometimes WGL. But that's it.
Maybe it's because of the player. Maybe he feels some players are not so prepared against the Dreadlord Lich unusual strats. But Sok is. It might also have to do with maps. I think the Lich first aggressive style is by far the best on Amazonia, which we haven't seen yet, which would be map number 3. And LR, honestly, is a very easy expansion map. You can creep it up very, very simply. Level 3 can be a problem for the AM if the Undead's pressure is on point. But normally, not the most scary. It was, however, Infi and TH, I think, also a little while ago. For example, in the best of 5 against Happy, where Infi vetoed LR, which really surprised me. And I don't really know why. I saw the vetoes earlier here by Sok, and Sok actually vetoed... Oh, last hit here. Actually vetoed Terrana Stand, which is crazy.
Wow, what the... Okay, that's an anti-Dreadlord ban
yeah,
then.
that's an anti-Dreadlord ban, I think so as well. Dude, this footy harass has been looking really good. 1-0-1 to get the Trapper up here, but doesn't actually get it. The footy has disrupted this. The footy is almost dead, but early experience is so crucial for the DK that I think this is absolutely worth the footy's life.
Yeah, they both played around it for so long that the skeletons expired. That's something really cool to see. And that shows how important every single point of experience really is in this early game. For the level 2 Water Elemental and the Unholy Aura. DK again, taking so many hits. Oh my god. And this time, wow, nice. Oof. Nice snipe. But this was the case on map 1 before, but Concealed Hill had fountains. Last Refuge doesn't. On the other side, lots of peasant kills for 1-2-0 with his skeletons.
AM's inventory is super good. +9. Basically the perfect trifecta for him. Yeah, 1-0 really needed to get that last hit on the Ogre Magi. If he hadn't gotten that, this would have been a complete disaster. AM would be pretty much level 3 right now, would be pressuring against the level 1 DK only. But 1-0 recovers from this early footy harass. And now Tech's... the Tech's still finishing over here. How many peasants died? I think it was it 2 or 3?
I think 3. I'm not 100% sure either. No, oh man, this Archmage inventory is pretty sick, especially considering how low the DK is. 1-2-0 has to play so passively with this, and Sok is expecting this. Like, he knows exactly what's happening.
Yeah, crucial movement by Sok. He sends his main force towards the middle, and has one footy in the little pathway to the side. You always want to have the scout footy there, because one of the most painful things here in the early or mid-game stages is if the undead runs by towards your expansion, you didn't see him coming, skeletons raise, 1, 2, 3, 4 peasant kills, and suddenly you lose all that momentum in your economy. And my stream is frozen.
Yep, same. Well, then let's go for WFZ again. As here the game is continuing. Sorry about that. Can't do anything.
Four Fiends out here once again pretty early. That is certainly good focus fire potential. Sok needs to get up his defend quickly. Tier 2 tech has already started before the Undead's Tier 3, so that's pretty decent. Sok went for boots earlier as well. Is he doing the same again? Those really helped, especially with pressuring the statues. One arcane only. And defend is coming in now. I like the aggressive positioning here of the AM. He's trying to slow down 1-0 until defend is finished. Oh,
the Archmage got it. Yeah, the Archmage got it. The big mana potion goes to 1-0, but Sok, crazy. I mean, it's a little easier with the plus damage that the Archmage already has. But man, this was insane against Coil and Nova. 1-0 not willing to go for it, and then there's one chance, and Sok grabs it.
Few footies here are going down. This is valuable experience for the DK. No level 3 yet, but perhaps not so badly required. Now the statue is coming in, and this is where this Undead army really starts becoming good. Nova hits the footies, one killed off immediately, quite a bit more damage on the other ones. Footman numbers are starting to dwindle, and now only 5 to engage with here, but they do have defend.
So much damage! DK forced into a TP soon. One more hit. Archmage diving for it. Oh, 2 more hits actually. Man, it's 1-0 playing with fire here. But that's a TP gone without any damage to the economy. Sok can just play whatever he wants. There's not too many footman losses. This hurt DK is a huge problem for 1-0.
Yeah, the positioning on the DK there was really off, right? It's way too far forward, blocking himself with his own fiends. Few mistakes here becoming visible. And Tier 2 about to finish, then the MK comes out. But until then, it's still going to be tough to deal with this high number of fiends.
Okay, is this the time for the Undead? He's trying to flank and go for the Lich, while the Archmage is again with the Water Elemental. Man, that was a nice trap with the Footman coming in from the left-hand side, Archmage from the right. Tough life for 1-0. Level up, that's quite helpful. He has a potion as well. Big investment at the mid-game. But so far, he's doing everything quite perfectly. Fiends are healthy. DK not really in trouble without a Mountain King.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Sok was supposed to go in there already before his MK came out. He's also committing hard to this Death Knight. Does he not see the heal pot?
Used already. Now he can. Buying time for some towers, but on the cost of Footman.
Yeah, only 2 footies left now. This shop, if that falls, the floodgates are open towards the towers. 1-0 wants to take out that guard tower first, and with so many fiends here... Oh, doesn't actually quite manage to. The guard tower comes up. That's a big deal. Where the hell is this Mountain King?
Yeah, I'm wondering myself. Did he forget about it? Only Footman streaming in, but they don't do anything anymore except buy time with defend. Archmage at the shop, going for a potion as well. Is scared of Coil Nova.
No militia at all called yet, surprisingly.
Is that the Mountain King coming? Yes, okay. First Stormbolt, first Fiend. Should be a kill in the south. Yes, there is. Coil was ready, but he was busy on the other side of the fight.
Yeah, once again, a positioning mistake by the DK. That absolutely should have been a save.
He really wants this DK. He knows there's no TP. This time there's no potion. Can he reach again? Coil. Oh, Archmage. He has, of course, a TP left. Battle for the first heroes. Oh, Stormbolt. But he has no follow-up. 70 HP.
Whew, that was close. Good decision by 1-0 there to go for the AM. Tier 3 is almost done already. Wow.
Maybe that's why the Mountain King's so late. Maybe rush Tier 3.
Yeah, workshops also coming up, so gyro soon in the mix. Mass repair. Quite expensive. Ghoul coming in, brings the orb and a heal pot.
Big power spike with his orb, and again, Archmage focus pretty much only. Whenever he has the chance, he's going for this Archmage. Again, as you say, potion. So I don't like the super heavy DK focus. Of course, if it works, then it's GG. But Mountain King is out of mana now. He focused twice with the DK having the potion, and he's so tanky, and it's not that easy, and needs heavy commitment to kill him. Like this one, but there's the counter surround, and the potion should be safe, even on the high ground now. Wait, the balls of 1-2-0, not going for the HP. But okay, should just be enough, right? The statue is babysitting this DK, and all of a sudden there's a counter focus.
MK in trouble, barely makes it away. Does he still have the boots on the AM? Yeah, he does. That's weird. But there's no towers at the expansion now. This looks like an easy crack. Sok is getting close to his tier 3 army, but he doesn't quite have it yet.
How much time can these buildings buy him? There is a Nova. Yeah, this Mountain King is out of the fight for quite some time.
Yeah, Sok once again needs the help of Militia, needs to come in with the knights and everything.
There goes the MK with that sad Nova. And without that crowd control, what can you do? Like, the Paladin arrived now just a tiny bit too late for the Holy Light. Maybe could have even used it. Not too sure. But yeah, it's 2 breakers and an Archmage and a Paladin. He's just diving for this DK, storming through the entire undead army, catching so many hits. He has to nuke with Holy Light now, I think. But there's level 4. That must be Death Pact. Yep. Eats the Fiend. Is still healthy. And that's, I guess, the last bit of hope for Sok disappearing.
Yeah, this time the hold wasn't quite as powerful. The militia didn't bail him out. And this expansion now seems to be very broken. Timing for 1-0 hits a little bit too soon. Not enough knights, not enough gyros. And this should be the 1-1.
Or is there one Hail Mary nuke in him? Oh, everything's so healthy now. You can't really nuke the Lich. Oh, again, right click. Poor Paladin throws out one last Holy Light, but that's the 3rd Paladin kill in this series. That's not supposed to happen. Oh, blocks the way. Decay has no TP. Needs to eat a lot to fight through this, but it's only Militia, so the focus fire of Destroyers and Lich is actually enough. It's still 50 supply for 1-0. Like, he's not losing anything.
Yeah, I like that play there by Sok. There was a chance to trap the DK, but he on level 4 now is quite tanky as well. 4.5, actually. That should be close to level ups as well.
Oh, man. Crazy question by Spooky, which I never thought about before. Does the Orb of Fire reduce the healing of Death Pact?
Yes. Reduces all healing. Also heal pots and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I knew about heal pots, but spells... I mean, yeah, of course, Holy Light and all, but... What a strong orb this is.
Is it strong enough to get Sok out of this position? I don't know.
Nope. Archmage dead. And that's a 1-1 as 1-0 on his very map. Had a lot of pressure. I was worried seeing this DK so low all the time. Aber yeah. But yeah.
Aber ja?
Maybe a little too centered.
Yeah, I also think the footy usage wasn't as on point as in the first game. Like, when he charged in before having defend, he threw a lot of them away. And then he followed up with a DK focus, threw a lot of them away as well. DK focus, in my opinion, rarely the right choice.
I mean, yeah, if it works, and there was a good chance that it works after the early game.
But also on LR, like on some maps, it's really good to just force a TP back and you buy yourself a ton of time. Like, maybe Concealed, but especially like Twisted, maybe Northern Isles. But LR, your opponent's main is pretty damn close to your expansion. But that gives us a 1-1. And yeah, deciding map, if I saw that correctly earlier, should be Amazonia.
Ooh, okay. That's a lot harder to expand, but it is Sock's map. So we must have a solution for this. Maybe even one base, but Sock usually is expansion tier 3 player. Everything would surprise me. He defeated Happy on Amazonia, right?
Yes.
That was, I guess, the deciding map.
Could be a Lich first map. That would be pretty cool.
When it's about $2,000, you really want to play that Lich?
I mean, he in the Ting Invitational Grand Final, he played Firelord first.
Yeah, that was quite some years ago. I hope he matured since then, at least a little bit.
We saw him play Firelord in that one Undead Mirror against WZ. It was, right?
Yes.
That was a pretty fun one. Firelord has been seeing some love lately, mostly from Night Elves, mostly from Moon and TH. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Embrace the law for the Incinerate. I'm all in on that.
So the game is about to begin.
It's kind of interesting. I don't see the Korean observers in the lobby, but they clearly have their own feed, right? I don't know how that works. Okay, we're loading in. Deciding map. Who's going to make the finals? Is it 1-0 or is it Sock? Would just be an exclamation mark of how strong the two Korean human brothers are, Chimiko and Sock. At the moment.
Yeah, Chimiko especially has been looking really good lately. But then again, Sock took him out in the Pro Qualifier, right? In WGL.
Yes.
In the human mirror. Is that what we're going to see in the final? Or does 1-0 make it there? We have Amazonia, map 3 to decide it. And perhaps an interesting build by the Undead.
Okay, Sock in the upper right for Africa Freaks. 1-0 still for Newbie? Not sure. I haven't seen him with attack like ever. So, but since he's playing the team league with Lin and Lawlight, we can assume it. And so, what is it?
We see the Undead base here already, and it is not a ghoul opening. It's a standard Head Fiend opening, which should mean DK. A Lich here would be very surprising. But what surprises me most is that 1-0 isn't even sprinkling in his unusual builds anymore. It's just standard all the way through.
Kind of what I said going into this cast. Like this tournament, very straight up strategies. Also when he was playing Orc, it was just the norm. And he's very successful with it so far. No fun in games for 1-0.
All right then.
DK
so
it
is Sock once again gonna go fast expansion? Lots of humans out there are switching up the style, switching up their plays against Undead, like Hawk, for example. But Sock really always seems to be doing the same thing. Fast expo into tier 3 Knights Gyros. So he is somewhat predictable, but the good thing about this strat is it doesn't have very glaring weaknesses. You can always win with it if you play really well, but it's definitely hard against top Undeads to play really well. Your footman usage has to be on point, your militia calls have to be on point, your creeping, your timings, your defense, everything that worked on map 1 didn't quite work on map 2. I think because of a lot of overextension on this Death Knight.
Yeah, that's an easy fix. Depending on how the game goes, it's not even an option to go for the DK, but rather for militia. And question is, how many militia will he use for that creep? And will 1-0... Well, he will of course have the time to punish it, but how bad is it going to be? Normal creep route for 1-0, going bottom right into Expo. As he have some time in the early game. Because level 2 is necessary as well. Little Scout sees early Narrow Tower.
Yeah, we saw that on LR already. 1-0 doesn't want to be bothered by this early footman being a nuisance. This first footy can actually be quite disruptive at the first creep camp, but isn't trying to do that here. The first creep camp for 120 is not the troll camp towards the left, where the AM could harass, but the one towards the right, where the AM really won't harass. AM starts off with the claws. That's nice. DK with the gauntlets. +3 damage, I guess. Oh, and looks like 120 is going to go for super heavy creeping, waiting for the next round of necromancy. So you might creep the Kobold Tunneler camp next.
Okay, Sock pulling out the creeps. Skeletons into the main. And he's not harassing the expo creep. Not at all.
Yeah, this is pretty weird.
Yeah, I don't know. This is such a big chance. Big mana and claws. And some good drops for Sock. And the easiest level 3 of all times on Amazonia.
Yeah, this DK usage was really off, in my opinion. He summons, like, he creeps the bottom right, but if you run over after that, you can still be in time to harass the expansion. And then he waits there to summon more skeletons, but just sends the skeletons into the main, into the expo, where they really aren't doing that much. Okay, he got 1 peasant kill, but that's all. This is a fairly ineffective early game here by 120 so far.
Also, he's not, like, creeping like crazy. He's not level 2 yet. That Water Elemental is his level 2. Oh, denied.
Nicely done.
Okay. That's his level 2, though. Can't deny everything.
So that's a total of 2 peasants lost here. It's important to keep these numbers low as the human. And for the undead, of course, wants to raise these up as high as he can. Should be 2 more peasants dying over here. Perhaps more in the main. No, the ones in the main are safe. No arcane in the main is a little bit greedy. And this is quite the expansion play here. 120 is coming back strong here with this follow-up attack.
Damn, why did this work so well? Like, it wasn't supposed to be that way. It wasn't a big level lead or something. Just a lot of skeletons. Is it greed? Is it carelessness?
Yeah, the footies maybe ran out a bit too far away from the expansion because they started to go south and the DK just ran past them. Of course, DK a lot faster than the footies. And then suddenly the economy wasn't protected anymore, or the peasants building weren't protected anymore. 120 satisfied with his damage, falls back for a bit of creeping. If he creeps the Renegade camp next to his main, he's going to be almost level 3 already, I think.
Archmage is waiting in the shadows, got boots as well. Will he get that crazy last hit like on LR with the Ogre? Good damage on the DK again, but there is definitely a coil, and that's the kill, and that's a circlet.
Oh yeah, and he's basically level 3. Oh,
yeah.
Man, that's scary. Stole the rogue, which is pretty nice, but once the Lich comes out, footy kills will be available.
Ooh. That's a lot of footmen, though.
Skeletons towards the expansion again. Are probably going to get 1 more peasant. That's a lot of peasant losses this game.
He's still attacking. Yeah, 1 more kill indeed. Is it worse to go for the DK? Is he just baiting it again? But yeah, no slow.
One to 0 now, waiting for the Lich with the second hero coming out. There's going to be a lot more pressure on these footies. There he is, and that's 1 kill. And there we go. That's level 3 for the DK. But 120 is delaying his tier 3 until 36 supply. This is the old schoolish way of Chinese undead. Happy came in and started going for the fast attack at 30, and almost everyone following Happy's success adjusted and started copying it. But 120 now goes back to the slightly slower attack where you get to the high fiends more quickly.
Coil Nova on the Archmage, so he's out of that fight for now. That's a lot of freedom for DK and Lich. Mountain King still far away. Footman retreat as well. Free damage pretty much, and with that, bye-bye tower.
Yeah, needs a shop, but doesn't have the resources. Should he have perhaps set that shop up at the expansion already? Maybe. We saw that before, especially on Concealed. Sock is praying for this MK to come out. When is he finally here?
Lich half surrounded there, taking decent damage, but as long as the Lich is taking damage, that's all fine. Not spreading it on Fiend, so there's like 2 targets once the Mountain King comes out. Don't like that footman control too much. Oh, and again, 1 skeleton is getting probably a double kill in the peasant line.
Yeah, once the Arcane is gone, this can happen over and over. Sock, this game seems to start to slip away from him.
But we thought that on CH as well, and he fought back. But yeah, without a Mountain King, and even without defense at the moment, he really wants this Lich, but there's still so much money. There's 2 coils.
Wow, that's so greedy. Defense so late? Way after tier 2 is done already? Well, that's a lot of kills. And again, he aims for the heroes around, but killing the Lich is even harder than killing the DK. He can get coiled.
Twice. That is almost all the coils gone, but it's still no MK. He keeps the towers down, which is really nice. That's exactly what you need. 2 water elementals pressuring the statue, but always move back. Archmage forced into a potion, and the Mountain King is only at 50%. How is he supposed to do anything now? Oh, Archmage nuke had to go for the potion immediately. That puts some pressure off the base, but all numbers are too low. Tower numbers, hero numbers, like footman numbers, going with Shredder and Militia now. But 1-2-0 just takes out every single footman, one after the next.
Yeah, and the tier 3 is done now for the undead, so Destroyer form is probably being researched right now, or could perhaps be brought with a ghoul and backpack once again.
Level 4 DK. I don't know how long we're in this game, but that's an insane amount of XP. Mountain King finally out. That could be a decent target, but there's, again, a coil. Like, immediately. Heals him up to full.
Yeah, and that level 2 aura now is so hard to fight against.
Easy kill for the Shredder. That wasn't really worth it. Desperately throwing the hammers at the heroes. Waiting for tier 3. Is there any chance? There's no SimCity at all at this expansion, and that's pretty much free reign for ghouls and fiends and heroes and everything. Let's wreck this economy again.
4-3 heroes now for 1-0.
Yeah. Have fun dealing with that Lich.
What does he even have to bring in here? 2 heroes which are weak. No towers here to defend them. And we don't even have destroyers yet. They might be coming any second now.
Yeah, that might be the nail in the coffin for Sock, as there's no anti-air, no solution to them. It's free reign. It's not even enough towers. Oh, statue block almost. Killing that second hero again early. Not willing to contribute the coil to it.
Huya. 1-0 looking primed to make it into the final, coming in now with a Dark Ranger as well. 50 out of 50 supply. Has 1-0 lost a unit yet this game?
No. And that is GG. Holy smokes, game 3 was just a stomp by 1-0. After one of the weirdest early games that we've seen in a long time. Maybe he knows better. Maybe he's good at that game and knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, it was really the push towards the expansion where it was being constructed, where so many peasants fell, that slowed down Sock so much. But even then, the defense was extremely late. He could have gone for an earlier one. There must have been time. After game 1, I thought it might be looking good for Sock. Game 1 was super strong, but games 2 and 3, not as perfect.
That is our first grand finalist, 1-0 after... Was it the Yule Cup thingy where he made it to the grand final? Yeah, Yule Cup won against... No, that was last year. What was it? Where he wasn't the final against Happy?
Was that Yule Cup 4? No. Yule Cup 3? He was in the final against Colorful.
Against Colorful, yeah, true. So second final of the year for 1-0. Finally getting there again. And let's see what his opponent is. Will it be a human again in Chimiko, or will Lawliot continue to defeat humans. That's our second semifinal, another best of 3 coming up in just a bit.